from the outside saw, I think what they thought was a perfect family. We looked as if we had no problems. Our marriage was good, and it was. We loved the Lord. We loved each other. We had 3 wonderful children. It was great. We looked like to the world that we were blessed, and we were. But we also faced pain, deep pain that no human really could survive except for with the presence of a merciful God.
In 1987, I was on the police department. I was a hostage negotiator. I was 32 years old. Everything was going great. But little did I know, the stress was building up in my life, and eventually had a heart attack from that.
We experienced a huge financial hit at that time, even though I was working, and I was working at IBM in its heyday, but he was the financial and spiritual head of our household, and we were blessed with the birth of our 3rd son, all the same year. Then the floodgates opened. We thought that we had seen it, but literally the floodgates of our pain opened, and our 2 oldest sons were in a car accident.
Kip and Russell were both in the hospital for off and on, and Kip went into a coma, and he was in the hospital for approximately 18 months. And then January the 1st, he passed.
It's a grief that hurts so bad you can't cry. Tears don't do it. When a child dies, you don't just lose the child, it's your dreams for the child. We don't get to see him graduate. He was a senior. So I think the hardest thing was the realization that it really happened.
Then in September, Renee is diagnosed with cancer the same year, 1993. And then in the year 2000, again, she's diagnosed again with cancer. We weren't going to make it by ourselves. It was only going to be God that brought us through, that the burdens were too heavy for us. And the only way that we could get through this was to give our burdens unto the Lord. That was his promise, that if we gave him our burdens, that he would give us rest. And we needed rest at this time. We needed rest from the giant after giant after giant attacking us.
I remember looking in the mirror one day, and my hair had come out, and I was bald. And I remember saying, God, my hair is gone, but you're working on my crown. And when you do this for me, because your word said that you would, I don't want to be a testimony. I want to have one.
I could wake up one morning, feel one way, and feel another way in the evening, but his word was consistent. So the plan in our life was to just believe on his word and stick with his word. Literally, would take some of the promises, over 7,000 promises, we'll pick one out for our family and would just confess it over and over and over until it came to pass. You go through trials, you go through tribulations, you go through, as we're talking about, the giants in our lives, and they could come one after another. But we know God will take us through these trials because that's the promise. It's the promises that we hold on to.